Welcome back to the Parent Guide, helping your teen overcome pornography addiction. I am your host, Matt Bulkley, and if you are a parent raising a teenage boy today, well, you already know that navigating the digital world feels like a constant balancing act. We worry about social media, screen time, exposure to pornography and explicit content, but today we need to address a rapidly growing online threat specifically targeting adolescent males. That is financial sextortion. This isn't just basic online harassment. It is a highly organized, psychologically devastating crime that exploits a teenager's developing brain and fear of social development and a natural desire for connection. So by the end of this video, you will understand how this cybercrime operates, recognize real-world warning signs, and learn the exact 5-step crisis response protocol, and discover evidence-based tools to help your son to build long-term emotional resilience. So stick with me. So what exactly is financial sextortion? Well, financial sextortion occurs when an online perpetrator coerces a victim into sharing explicit photos or videos and then immediately turns around and then threatens to distribute those images to the teen's family, friends, classmates, or school accounts unless money or gift cards are paid. And unlike traditional online predators who seek long-term relationships or physical contact, financial sextortion rings, they frequently are run by internationally organized crime syndicates and motivated by swift financial gain. And they target teenage boys because of key developmental vulnerabilities, heightened emotional reactivity, developing impulse control, and an intense fear of public shame. So let's look at a real-world scenario to see how fast this actually happens. Consider 15-year-old Ethan. He receives a friendly direct message on Instagram from a user named Chloe, whose profile shows a girl his age with shared interests. And over 2 days, they chat casually, and Chloe sends what looks like a private photo and asks Ethan for one in return. And seeking connection, Ethan sends a photo, but within seconds, the tone shifts. The account sends Ethan a pre-made graphic showing his explicit photo right next to a screenshot of his Instagram follower list, his parents' names, and his high school's tag. And the demand? Send $500 via Cash App within 1 hour, or the photo goes to everyone he knows. So panicked and terrified of social ruin, Ethan transfers his savings only for the extortionist to demand another $1,000 immediately afterwards. Well, parents, if this story sounds extreme, the statistics tell us that it is actually happening at an alarming rate all across the country. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has reported tens of thousands of youth sextortion cases, with the overwhelming majority targeting teenage boys aged 14 to 17. And extreme psychological impact is the result. The FBI public advisories, it warns that the sudden intense panic created by these extortionists leads to severe depression and, tragically, youth suicides occurring sometimes within hours of the threat. And we know that the disproportionate impact is on males. Over 80 to 90% of financial sextortion victims are young males. And predators intentionally leverage boys' reluctance to talk about sexual vulnerability or to ask for help due to the intense shame. So parents, if your son comes to you or if you discover that he is being extorted, well, how you react in the first 5 minutes is critical. So let me give you 5 immediate action protocol steps that you should take. Number 1, reassure him without rebuking. Your son's mental health and his safety come first. You tell him clearly, you're in trouble, but you're not in trouble with me. You are a victim of a crime, and we are going to solve this together. 2, stop payment and cut contact. Do not pay. Payment never stops the extortion. It only marks the victim as an ongoing target. So block the perpetrator on every platform. 3, preserve the evidence. Do not delete the account or the messages yet. Take clear screenshots of usernames and chat history and social handles and payment account details. 4 is to report the crime. File an immediate report with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center at ic3.gov and report the incident to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at cybertip.org. And then lastly, number 5, lock down digital privacy. Switch all the social media profiles to strict private, turn off location tags, and disable direct messaging from non-followers. So parents, managing the immediate crisis is step 1, but we must also address the long-term emotional impact, because financial sextortion, it often intersects with underlying digital habits such as compulsive device use or online pornography addiction. And so when a teen struggles with compulsive viewing, their emotional boundaries can erode, leaving them more vulnerable to online traps. So to help your son rebuild, we utilize 2 primary evidence-based interventions. One is the Recovery Toolbox for Teens. And this is a clinical workbook series that provides a structured cognitive behavioral therapy exercises, relapse prevention strategies, and practical tools to help young men identify emotional triggers, release toxic shame, and rebuild healthy digital boundaries at home. And second is Start Guides Wilderness Therapy. When digital habits run deep or acute trauma requires complete reset, Start Guides provides specialized outdoor behavioral health care in St. George, Utah, by removing screens entirely. Young men engage in licensed individual and group therapy, break compulsive dopamine feedback loops, and cultivate real emotional resilience. Parents, remember that extortion thrives on isolation and shame, but with calm reassurance and clear boundaries and the right therapeutic support, I promise you that your son can heal and move forward stronger. So parents, please like, subscribe to make sure and not miss our weekly updates, providing you with the latest in research, clinical practice, guidance, and support in your teen's recovery journey. You can find links to the Recovery Toolbox for Teens and Start Guides Wilderness Therapy in the description below, along with the crisis reporting links that I talked about. Parents, thank you for watching. Keep those lines of communication open with your teens, and I will see you in the next episode.